Yo, what's up, guys? I cannot believe what I just watched tonight, guys. The Maple Leafs lose in overtime tonight to the Los Angeles Kings, 7-6. Man, what an absolutely despicable defensive hockey game this was tonight, guys. Between the Leafs and Los Angeles Kings tonight. My God, 13 goals scored tonight between these two teams. I said to myself coming into this game, Los Angeles is fighting for a playoff spot. They're obviously playing with desperation, having to win every game as much as possible, going to the end of the season, obviously. You knew the Leafs were mathematically eliminated last game, guys, after losing. You just knew or expected to think the Kings would come out and play a little bit more tighter defensively, play with a little bit more urgency, and that is the exact opposite of what I saw to start this hockey game tonight. The Maple Leafs, they come out firing, starting out shooting LA 5-0. Matthew Knies gets the first goal on a 4-on-4. Nice pass by Max Domi to Knies. Really nice shot by Knies to make it 1-0 for the Leafs. But I said to myself, oh, God, they came to play tonight. They're going to come out tonight and play a good hockey game and find a way to get 2 points. It's just typical Maple Leafs, an opportunity to get into the bottom five. Winnipeg is not too far behind you. St. Louis, Seattle, Florida was ahead of you after the loss today. Unfortunately, the Leafs with that loser point tonight. Florida is now behind them again. The Leafs get ahead of them again. It's just another example that this hockey team just doesn't bloody know when to lose games and when to win them. It just drives us fans up a bloody wall, to say the least. Now, you also saw Steven Lorentz get a goal off a shorthanded goal to pickpocketing Anze Kopitar to make it 2-0 for the Leafs. And I just said to myself, are the Los Angeles Kings bloody for real? Like, are these guys for real? You are fighting for your playoff lives, and you give up two horrendous goals like that to Knies and Lorentz against the Leafs? Like, incredible how bad the Kings started out in this game, and then you had that jackass, going after fucking Easton Cowan all night, Mikey Anderson. That guy there had a hard-on for Cowan, going after him multiple bloody times in this game. Max Domi had to defend him at one point. Cowan had to defend himself. That guy there was asking for trouble. High-stick Cowan at one point. Like, he was really pissing me off. Loved how I saw Domi defend him and Tavares getting involved in scrums. That was great to see and all. And, the Leafs were the better team, I felt, in the first period. Even though LA did outshoot the Leafs in the first period, the Leafs had better chances. Joe Wall made some good saves to keep it at 2-0. But this Leafs team, guys, we know that they have deficiencies defensively. They can't hold the lead, of course. And we saw that again in this game today. After Max Domi took 2 penalties to make it a 4-minute penalty, LA couldn't get a bloody goal. LA's power play tonight was putrid at times in this game. Absolutely pathetic, to say the least. The Kings in this their power play tonight, guys. Like, incredible to me. Seeing how bad the Kings were. They couldn't execute on their bloody power plays. Leafs were able to kill off the 4-minute mark, but then we saw Byfield score not too long after the power play ended to cut it down to 2-1. Nice goal by LA to cut it back by 1 there. Then we saw Joe Wall, the Leafs are on the power play. Joe Wall's got the puck. Goaltender's got to be the number one guy to be aware of when the penalty's about to end. Of course, Joe Wall lost focus for that second there. Didn't see how much time was left on the penalty there for the Kings. And ironically enough, it was that guy that I mentioned, high-stick Cowan there. He was the one who came out of the box. He's able to get the puck there, Mikey Anderson, and then he makes the pass to Kempe to make it 2-2. And I said to myself, okay, perfect. Leafs blew a 2-0 lead, tied back at 2-2. LA's probably going to find a way to take the lead and maybe control the game a little bit, but, not the case whatsoever. LA takes a stupid penalty. John Tavares, who's been one of the best Leafs, if not the best Leafs since the trade deadline and the post-Olympic break, of course. John Tavares gets a nice goal after William Nylander hits the crossbar. Tavares is able to pot in the rebound there. It's just, I'm saying to myself constantly, my God, the Kings are gift-wrapping goals to the Maple Leafs. The Leafs had 2 goals disallowed, for Christ's sakes, as well. Tavares was offside on one with the Riley goal. Just after they had tied it back up again, the Kings, that Robertson scored a goal. There was a too many men on the ice, penalty by Pizzetta, because he went to the bench and then he saw the play going the other way. Then he turned back around. Then Gruel went on the ice not noticing, so that was a penalty there. It was like, my God, the amount of opportunities the Leafs were blowing. the amount of opportunities LA was giving them, I just said to myself, this team here is either going to get a loser point or they're going to get 2 points. It was just how the game was operating, how the game was going in this situation. I just said to myself, this game is far from bloody over. And then after, like I said there, Tavares gets a goal to make it 3-2. Panarin's able to tie it up at 3-3 after because he's wide open on the side there, as we saw. Nobody picks up Panarin, wide open on the side there. And Panarin has been absolutely spectacular for the Kings since he's been acquired from the New York Rangers, guys. The man has like 21 points in 20 games coming into this game tonight, having 8 goals and 13 assists. He did get a few more points tonight, of course, getting the goal, like I mentioned, had an assist in overtime. So this guy here has really been playing well for the Kings right now, and really a nice goal by him there, but wide open. But the Los Angeles Kings, man, they're not a very smart hockey team, a pretty stupid hockey team if you guys ask me at times, especially in this hockey game, taking another dumb penalty. John Tavares, my God, he had a great game tonight, to say the least. John Tavares with this pass here to Easton Cowan, probably the best pass I've seen John Tavares make as a Toronto Maple Leaf. What a pass that John Tavares makes here to Easton Cowan. Stick taps for the puck, makes that beautiful little touch with the stick there between his legs, and Cowan is able to pot it in for the goal there, guys. And ironically enough, he gets him behind former Leaf Joel Edmondson there, who's not a very good defenseman, and I don't know how the Kings are paying that guy $3.5 million a year. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. Cowan gets in behind and make it 4-3 for the Leafs with like 11 seconds left in the second period. And I'm just like, oh my God, man. Oh my God. They're going to win tonight and really screw up their draft stock tonight. And then luckily enough, we saw the Kings wake up in the third period, scoring 3 unanswered goals in the span of like 2.5 minutes. We saw Kempe get a goal. Then we saw Helenius get a goal. Then we saw LaFerriere get a goal. All 3 of those goals were on top shelf on Joe Wall. 2 were on glove side. 1 was blocker side, short side. Goals that I think Joe Wall's definitely going to want back, guys. 3 not very good goals by Joe Wall. And the Kings take a 6-4 lead. I said to myself, perfect. 2-goal lead for Los Angeles. They find a way to close out this game, get 2 points in regulation. Leafs get below, get back there to the bottom 5. But, the Kings, man, this team here, the Kings, I'm flabbergasted what I witnessed tonight with this team in their own end tonight. The amount of turnovers that they committed in their own end tonight was laughable. Absolutely laughable. 4 turnovers tonight by the LA Kings resulted in goals for the Maple Leafs. On Robertson's goal, turnover in the Kings' own end, Robertson's got the wide open space, beautiful snipe on Kemper there to make it 6-5. Then we saw Matthew Knies, another turnover there. Knies is able to get the puck, and he's able to beat Kemper top shot there because he couldn't get the puck out of his own end, Darcy Kemper. Darcy Kemper gave up 6 bloody goals. I think it was on like 21 shots or something like that. It was 20 shots. Darcy Kemper gave up 6 goals on 20 shots. This guy won a bloody cup with the Capitals, for Christ's sakes. He looked horrendous tonight. Sure, his team in front of him was bad, but he couldn't save a beach ball tonight. Like, holy shit, man. It was bad, to say the least. So the Leafs get a loser point. They get ahead of Florida now, 78 points. Just everybody in the NHL, it just seems like they want the Leafs to shoot themselves in the foot and screw themselves. It's like these teams are playing like shit to screw the Leafs draft spot. It's like, oh my God. Luckily enough, LA won this game in overtime. William Nylander had a breakaway. He fanned on the shot. He could have ended it there to give the Leafs the extra point. But then the Kings came back down. Beautiful tic-tac-toe play, guys, there. With obviously Panarin and Kempe right to Byfield. Beautiful goal by Byfield. Second of the night to close the game out. And they win the game 6-5. But my God, this game was ugly, to say the least, guys. It was absolutely putrid at times in this game. How both these teams can't defend in their own end. How they can't get the puck out of their own end cleanly. It's like the Kings, they're not a playoff team. I'm sorry, they're not. They are not. Because of the division that they're in and how bad it is right now, that's the only reason why the Los Angeles Kings are fighting for a playoff spot right now. There is no other way around it, guys, because this was an absolute dumpster fire of a game defensively for both teams, guys. But what a horrendous game by both teams tonight. Somebody had to win tonight. It was like whoever doesn't give up the more amount of goals wins the game tonight. McDavid said a few weeks ago this was a pillow fight. I don't even know if you call it a fight. Like, honestly, it's so bad, that Pacific Division. It's incredible to me, guys. John Tavares Matthew Nice, the two best players tonight. Easton Cowan, I thought, was great at wall in times in this game tonight. Tavares finishes off with a goal and 2 assists. Nice with 2 goals and 1 assist. Cowan had a goal tonight. Lorenz had a goal tonight. Joshua had an assist. Domi and Michelli had assists tonight. That line was pretty quiet tonight. William Nylander had a pretty brutal night tonight. -4 tonight. So, tonight, guys, like, my God, man, that was a bad game for Wooly tonight, to say the least. Was invisible on his line tonight. Tavares and Cowan were doing most of the work tonight for that line. You know, obviously, with the way the season's gone, there's only a few games left in the season. You just know that these guys here are just trying to get to the season's end there. It's just, you saw it again tonight in this game. Just so many guys were invisible tonight. A lot of turnovers tonight. Both teams were turning the puck over a lot tonight, guys. Joel Wall making 33 saves on 40 shots, but holy shit, man. 7 goals tonight. It's like both teams are bad defensively. Both goalies got hung out to dry a lot, but neither goalie could make a key save when they had to. Just both these teams were out having their own will tonight, guys. It was really bad, to say the least. You know, you had the Kings. You know, Kempe had 4 points, had 2 goals and 2 assists. Byfield had 2 goals. Panarin had a goal and 2 assists tonight. You had Helenas with the goal. LaFerriere with the goal. Trevor Moore had 2 assists tonight. Joe Wall made a great save on Moore in the second period with about 5 minutes left to keep the game there as it was. But unfortunately, guys, you know, the Leafs, you know, we've seen how many times this year how bad they are defensively, how they can't keep leads, can't defend leads, had multiple leads in this game tonight. Just couldn't hold on. You know, Craig Berube as well. You know, why isn't he not playing the Villeneuve kid? You know, why are you not playing Quillen? You might as well play the bloody kids, honestly, for next season, to see where they are, you know, for next season. But we know Berube ain't going to be here next year. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to play these last few games of the year with the guys that he wants and go on his way. But, my God, this game here was horrendous tonight. One of the worst games defensively I watched, like I said before. Somebody had to win tonight. Leafs find a way to not get the extra point tonight, really screwing up their position once again in the standings, guys. Let's just hope to God the Leafs can lose in regulation the last 5 to 6 games of the year, because God almighty, we need that top 5 pick so badly. It's not even funny, guys, you know, but Leafs find a way to lose tonight in overtime. Kings get the extra point. They needed the point more than we did tonight, guys, but my God, this Leafs team here just doesn't know when to lose bloody games. You know, Troy Stetcher saying before the game, you know, we got to play for the crest and all this shit. You should have thought about that in game bloody 1, even though I know Stetcher wasn't here. You know, it doesn't bloody matter. This team does not do that this year. They haven't done it in the past, of course, in past seasons. So this is just all smoking mirrors, a bunch of nonsense. They know that everybody wants them to lose, and they're going to go out there and piss people off and try to win as many games down this stretch to annoy us Leaf fans even more. This is what this franchise does. Just does the exact opposite of what this fan base wants, and it just continuously pisses me off to see this team continue to grind and try to win hockey games when they could need to be losing games the rest of the way, guys. But Leafs find a way to lose tonight. Luckily enough, they did. Didn't get that extra point, but didn't do themselves any favors, because Florida lost tonight. You get ahead of them. Winnipeg's below you. You know, St. Louis is below you. Seattle's below you. So those teams there have a game in hand. Hopefully those teams win those game in hand, and hopefully the Leafs can lose some games the rest of the way. I hope they don't win another bloody game for the rest of the season. I hope they don't even get another loser point the rest of the way. I hope they lose every single game the rest of the way, and hope to God they land in that bottom 5, guys. But love to your guys' thoughts and opinions on this game, guys. Just an absolutely brutal performance tonight by both teams. No team tonight was impressive. Both teams were bad defensively. Both goalies were bad. Sure, there was a lot of offense tonight. A lot of teams, you know, both teams were very undisciplined tonight, taking a lot of stupid penalties tonight. It was a really, really bad hockey game, to say the least, guys. Entertaining, but not the best game, you know, in terms of, you know, defensive and just being solid all around. It just wasn't that to be the case, guys. But we'll love to your guys' thoughts and opinions on this one, guys. Like this video, subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Leafs, go Zoes. See you guys on the next episode of Leafs Unfiltered. Ciao, guys.